Hey everybody, Ethan with Standing Stone Kennels, and today is the opening day for grouse season in South Dakota. I thought I could bring to you the top 4 tips to prepare your dog for grouse season. Now, granted, if you're watching this video now, you have already missed the boat, but the season does run through the end of January, so you have time to get caught up. It's going to take approximately 3 to 4 weeks maybe to get through these things, but if you can get started on it, you will be better off before your hunt. Now, one of the first things we want to talk about is stamina. There's a lot of walking involved with this. Uncle Rich lovingly refers to this bird as the bird of 10,000 steps. And yeah, he's probably not too wrong in that. You need to be conditioned, but also your dogs need to be conditioned for the ability to run lots of miles, all right? It's one of those things that I think is overlooked, especially because this is one of the first seasons that opens up, whether you are hunting South Dakota, Nebraska, Montana, North Dakota, or even up into the UP. This is your first opportunity to get the dogs really out to chase some prairie birds. They need to be ready. There's a number of different ways that you can condition them. We tend to utilize roading, but that does only a little bit for lungs. Another good way in the heat of the summer is actually to utilize a treadmill. A lot of parts of the country, it's too warm to keep our dogs out for too terribly long, so we can keep them indoors and really build up those lungs by utilizing a treadmill. We have several different videos showing how to introduce your dog and how to help them to build good conditioning using treadmills. For our dogs, we actually utilize a dog-specific treadmill, but you can utilize a human treadmill as well. One thing that you need to pay attention to, though, is it can shorten gaits a little bit. If you're looking for something specific for dogs, I would actually recommend that you look into a slat mill. Slat mills are dog-powered treadmills, and they're going to allow your dog to run at a natural pace, gait, and speed. You can encourage them to do some sprints and kind of work in a routine where they're doing a good amount of running. Trust me, when your dogs learn how to run on the slat mill, they will absolutely love it. It's a freedom to run and do it at their pace and their speed, and it's going to help to build a lot of stamina early season when it's too hot really to be outside for too long. The next, we really strongly recommend that you do some pad conditioning. The number one thing that dogs can get blown and ruin your entire first hunt is blow out their pads. It's the equivalent of getting a blister. If you don't condition those pads themselves, they are going to have the potential to blow a pad. And then once they do that, it's so tender that most dogs will not continue on and they'll need to rest for the rest of the hunt. What we typically do is roading. We have several videos on this showing how we utilize roading harnesses and a 4-wheeler to run them on sand and gravel. If you don't have access to this, you can work in some runs on concrete. But we just talked about the heat in the summer, and it's important to make sure that if you can't put your wrist on the concrete for more than a second or two, then dogs probably shouldn't be there either. The next thing to keep in mind is that the concrete itself can be drastically more abrasive, so keep these walks and or short runs very short. We're talking a few hundred yards, maybe a half a mile. This isn't for stamina, this is for pad conditioning. Work up to, and then also spray their pads with Toughen. This is a product that we sell at standingstonesupply.com. It is huge for helping to dry and keep their pads healthy, as well as to toughen them so that they are ready for grouse season. Next, you need to pack an ample amount of water. This is not only in your truck for when you get back to the truck or trailer, but you need to be hauling it on you. Everybody that comes and hunts with me, most of the time I am the dog handler and I'm in charge of the dogs. I've got my water packed down, but I make everybody in the field carry 2 or 3 bottles of water so that we've got enough water to keep the dogs hydrated and cool. One of the biggest things that dogs can do in this early season time, if they're not acclimated and you don't have enough water, is end up with heat exhaustion. So it's important to read the dog, know that they're not quitting on you. Some dogs get a little overzealous, especially early season. They go and they blast out into the field and they're not 100% pacing themselves accordingly, and you end up with dogs that get hot quickly. Take a short break, wet their ears down, wet their tongue down, wet the underarms, their back, their coat. Any of that's going to help with an evaporative cooling standpoint, but you have to have enough water with you. So if you're going to make these bigger loops that are required for prairie grouse hunting, you need to haul a lot of water with you. The last piece with water I want to touch on is haul as much water as you can. Now, if you're going to be standing an extended stay somewhere, you need to be thinking about hauling as much as you can and then do a little bit of mixing so that they get used to whether it's local, like a rural water setup or a well. As long as that water is good, if you do a little bit of mixing, it's going to be easier on their system. Try as best as you can to keep them out of puddles and ponds, which involves the hauling enough water to keep them cooled appropriately. But random water is one of the biggest things that can cause an upset stomach, and then you're fighting loose stool or diarrhea and a dog that ultimately doesn't feel well. So we strongly recommend to haul as much water as you can so that your dogs kind of stay in what they are used to. Again, extended stays, you're gonna have to do some mixing, but if you do it gradually, it really cuts down on the potential for issues. The last thing, and we touched a little bit on it in the water category, but early season hunts generally get hot, okay? It can be hard to even comprehend how little those dogs are gonna be working. But imagine, me specifically, I've got a lightweight shirt, I got lightweight pants. I am prepared for this warmer weather. When you think about our dogs, they generally have thick fur coats. And if you were to put a jacket on top of whatever you're doing out there, that's gonna be a closer idea to what the dogs are actually feeling. So read your dog. I cannot stress enough. You need to trust and read what the dog is showing you is real. Dogs are not out there to quit. They're not out there to act hot, to try and get out of stuff. They wanna hunt. They wanna hunt as hard as they possibly can. And we have to advocate for them by being prepared to shut them down, essentially, stop them, slow them down, wet them down when they're getting too hot. Keep your loops short, pay attention to the weather, and if you follow these 4 tips that I've put here, you guys are gonna have a great, successful, fun, and safe hunt with your dogs this season. I'm the guy with the pink gun. We'll catch you in the next video.